It didn't even take a month. Skydance, the entertainment studio that was angling to buy Paramount and CBS, got the green light from Donald Trump's FCC. This after Paramount paid, as you know, $16 million to settle the president's lawsuit, charging unfair editing by 60 Minutes. Critics saying this all looked orchestrated. Paramount also ending the CBS Late Show and firing Stephen Colbert, who's calling the company morally bankrupt.
Over the weekend, it sunk in that they're killing off our show. But they made one mistake. They left me alive. They pulled the plug on our show because of losses pegged between $40 million and $50 million a year. $40 million's a big number. I could see us losing $24 million, but where would Paramount have possibly spent the other $16 million? Oh, yeah.
Joining us now, Matthew Continetti, a columnist for Free Press and Commentary. Thank you for being here. What about this appearance that the skids were kind of greased, that Paramount settles the suit, and before we even get to August, this gets approved? And, you know, most legal experts think this would have been a very weak suit. Absolute deceptive editing, shameful by 60 Minutes, but maybe not the strongest lawsuit.
I think critics are conflating three separate stories. There's the lawsuit, which is between Trump and 60 Minutes. Then there's the Colbert firing, which is a CBS decision. And then there's the merger, which the FCC has within its remit because CBS is a broadcast network to supervise. So it's important to distinguish between all three. They just happen to be occurring all at once.
You got them out very quickly. Megyn, and critics at least are calling this, well, total capitulation to administration, that it tarnishes CBS. I have a hard time disagreeing with that last part. And I also thought it was a real mistake by Stephen Colbert while he was wrapping things in jokes to say, oh, by the way, Mr. President, F you. I just thought that was really off key.
So I think that Trump is going after people who say things that he doesn't like or things that he doesn't want to do. He started with ABC, he's gone to CBS, PBS. They're all targets of his, right? This is the same thing he's doing to law firms and universities, and they're all capitulating to him. This is how you
Not
get,
all, but many.
and we will see more, I'm sure. But this is how you get to state-run media. He kicked the Wall Street Journal out of the press pool because he didn't like the story they wrote about the Epstein files. This is what Donald Trump does, and it is shameful that these networks and law firms and universities are all going to him. And as far as Stephen Colbert, I think he can say whatever he wants. His show, he has freedom of speech. They fired him, so if they're keeping him on the air, he's going to say whatever he wants.
I think keeping him on the air shows that it's not necessarily a political decision, right? If it was a political decision, they wanted to get the merger through, they would just axe Colbert right away. Instead, they're leaving him on until May.
Something to replace him with.
Not really. No one's watching anyway. The man hasn't been funny in 20 years.
Well,
so I think the larger issue here is you can't say it's state-run media. The objective is that the media has lost so much credibility, Howie, that what Brendan Carr and FCC is trying to do is make sure we have a more objective media, fairer media. That might actually help broadcast media in the long run.
Well, Matthew, I know that Hollywood and mainstream media are painting Colbert as a martyr. I mean, here's a guy who had the #1 ratings for 9 years. But the reason he's had those ratings is because he decided to go totally anti-Trump, totally political, in my view, alienating half his audience. And I'm sure for many on the right, they are happy to see him on his way out.
Well, because he's become more of a partisan hack than a comic. You know, when he went on the scene in Comedy Central 20 years ago, kind of portraying a parody of a right-wing media talker, it was kind of funny. But he's not funny any longer. And this study that just came out by the Media Research Center showing all his guests are almost entirely Democratic left. The one Republican was Liz Cheney. I think only shows that this is not comedy, it's political propaganda.
Yeah, and certainly when he has interviewed Obama and Biden or people of that, from that part of the Democratic Party, it's been, a love fest, unlike what he has to say about Trump. But, the Late Show was also entertainment. Political, yeah, but it was also entertainment. And so my problem, this has always been that Paramount never went to Colbert and said, you know what, you're making $20 million a year, buddy. We're losing a whole lot. Why don't you take a big pay cut and let us take $10 million of that money? Instead of putting out the show with 200 staffers, why don't you try putting out with 100 staffers and see if they could get some of those losses down?
Yeah, because actually what they're doing is Colbert's probably going to make more money. You've seen that when other people have fired their hosts and their guests. He can go on Substack, he can go on the internet, he can have his own TikTok channel and say whatever he wants, and people will still tune in and pay for a subscription. So legacy media, and I think that linear TV is having a real problem with new media, and Colbert will benefit, and he will probably make more money, just like a lot of other people have done who have left their legacy media jobs in the past year.
I don't think we have to spend a lot of time feeling that he's going to be on food stamps, I'll put it that way. But I think also one of the reasons he wants to stay on the air until next spring is because he knows that if the show goes away, all the people who work for him will lose their paychecks. I mean, he's obviously got enough money to last him a lifetime.
Right. Well, this is a capitalist economy. We have a lot of job churn. The employment's coming in. Inflation's coming in low. So I think his crew will do well.
We're going to put up just one image of South Park. I don't want to be explicit here, but I will say that South Park, which, by the way, is part of Paramount and which just signed a contract for more than $1 billion, has the president in bed with Satan, and there's more to it that you can look up if you want. This seems to be getting a lot of attention. Take it, jump ball. Who wants to go there?
Go ahead.
I've never really been a South Park fan, and I think this week shows why. But I'll say this. This is happening with Paramount. Amidst all these accusations of politicization, here you have this incredibly egregious attack on the president. And why? Because South Park is popular, unlike Colbert.
And I also just think we'll see how long that they are allowed to act like this, right? Like, this is right out the gate. This is right after this merger is announced. So we'll see how long that the bosses at Paramount are going to let South Park do this, because I do think that there is undue influence from the Trump administration, who is calling out some of these things. And he may sue South Park next. You never know.
Well, you know, Trump has made no secret of the fact that he got the $16 million out of ABC. He got the $16 million out of CBS/Paramount. What about this larger argument that certainly he's entitled to sue whoever he wants, and certainly he cheered Colbert's coming demise, and he says Jimmy Kimmel might be next, nobody knows. But that this is all designed to intimidate media organizations.
Well, the personal aspect, Donald Trump has been lied about more than any political figure in modern history.
And so certainly attacked with all kinds of
totally
Nazi-like
within his
language.
rights to go within. The question is, what do we do to restore confidence in the media and have accountability on media organizations that have broadcast conspiracy theories for decades with no accountability whatsoever? And I think that's what the FCC is trying to do in regard to some of these broadcast news divisions, rather than the broader entertainment aspects of the merger.
Right, but obviously it doesn't apply to cable, because cable doesn't require licensing in the public interest. All right, Megan, thanks very much.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.